Alright, motherfuckers, wearing my sunglasses, not only because it's bright out shit outside today, but, you know, it's because of the haters here on YouTube. And, you know, here's the thing. So, you know, the internet is fucking blown up the last week or so, ever since this whole ISIS and Paris attack and shit like that. And, you know, I don't know what's going on here on YouTube. Every time I'm making one of these types of videos, I can't monetize it. I don't know if, like, people are, like, flagging the video. I'm not technically getting flagged, but for some reason, I can't monetize it. I don't really give a shit. If I'm not monetizing it, still gonna make the video anyway. Even if I'm not, you know, getting any profit, because I just want to say this shit because I feel it needs to be fucking said, and it really is fucking bright. Hold on a second here. Let me see what I can do about that. This is not working, so I'm going to turn it this way. Yeah, that's a lot better. Hey, how you doing? Anyway, so we are in a real fucking pickle here in this country. We have attacks going on in Paris. We should be getting serious about terrorism once again, as we did during 9/11. Now, I don't know what happened between the 9/11 and pre-Paris attacks, but we got so defensive. Now, yes, I know the whole George W. Bush thing, going into Iraq and all that, you know, that shit was just completely fucked up, and we know that. But we let that doubt in our minds, you know, like, cloud our judgment. We really did. Yes, the way how George W. Bush went about the attacks in 9/11 was all wrong. Should have been going after fucking Saudi Arabia, the fucking people that attacked us. But instead, we go after Iraq, and we go after the fucking group that did, you know, commit this attack, Al-Qaeda. But we go to Afghanistan, you know, and we keep hearing about Al-Qaeda and all this, and now you don't really hear too much about Al-Qaeda anymore. It's all about ISIS. So what happened to Al-Qaeda? Don't know. Don't really care at this point, but we're hearing about ISIS, which is, you know, seemingly they're, like, way more dangerous. So I don't know. You know, the thing is, really, you have no way of really knowing about this stuff, and people really have no right of making claims about, you know, that they feel ISIS was created in some way by the U.S. government. Where is the fucking proof? Now, I'm gonna fucking mind fuck you. I'm gonna stick my fucking dick right in your brain here for a minute. So bear with me. Bear with the expression, because you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. You, as a person, have no way of knowing about any of these things. Any way of knowing about them other than the media. Correct? Yes. Okay. So you see in the mainstream media, we're talking about ISIS as, you know, they're a threat, they're terrorists, and what happened in Paris is very real. I don't see, you know, why anybody would think that this is like a false flag attack or some shit like that. Now, you go on a website or you click on a video here on YouTube, and there's a counter argument. And people really like when derogatory things are said about this country. I really don't know why that is, why you would want bad things said about the country you live in. Now, I know a lot of people are not happy living here. Why they are here, I have no fucking idea. You could easily go back to your own country, and it's probably fucking cheaper to live there. You know, most of these fucking third world countries that a lot of people come from, they complain when they come here. You know, they don't appreciate that we always have, you know, hot running water at all times, that we have one of the best fucking plumbing systems, you know, basically all the 50 states, you know, especially here in New York. You know, we have all these modern conveniences, and you got all these third world countries where people are fucking digging holes to take a fucking shit. So, I mean, if you really have that much of a problem with this country, you should really consider, you know, residing elsewhere. But, you know, people don't fucking see it that way. They want to stay here and complain because that's a great thing. Unlike a lot of other countries, You have the ability to say whatever you want here. You're allowed to do that. You can't do that in any of the other countries. Chances are, the country your family came from, you don't have the same rights as you do here. Here in this country, you're really allowed to do a lot of fucking shit. You're fucking lucky as fuck. Because you're allowed to do pretty much a lot of things. And, you know, is the government disruptive in certain ways? Oh, hell fucking yeah. Especially, number one thing, for me at least, is the income tax. Government's fucking robbing me fucking blind every single fucking paycheck. So, this is not pro-government. This ain't a pro-government rant and everything. But, you know, if you really have such a big problem living here, if it's that unbearable, you know, you're free to leave because you're free to do that here in this country. Hey, and guess what? Guess what? If you live in, like, Iran or someplace like that, you're not allowed to leave that country. You're not even allowed to travel. Here, you can go where the fuck you want. You can't go to Iran, but that's besides the point. Anyway. So, you know, you're all high and mighty. You think you got these outside sources because you listen to Alex Jones or you're listening to some fucktard over on Facebook who made a page. Do you realize that anybody can make a page? Do you realize that anybody could edit a page on Wikipedia? Do you realize that anybody, because they're allowed to do that in this country, they're allowed to write whatever they want pretty much on the internet? You know, as long as, you know, I was about to say that as long as it's not inciting killing somebody, but sometimes that's even allowed. You know, so you're going to follow what it says in somebody else's blog. Somebody on the internet told you that ISIS was created by the U.S. government. And whether that has any truth to it or not, you really don't know. You don't know what's, you know, the footage that's being seen on Fox News, if that's the real story. Or perhaps the, you know, fucking guy with the cheese doodle stained fingers typing out a blog. Maybe he does have some inside info. Who the fuck knows? But, you know, you have no right to any of this information. And for you to come down on people who are saying that they want this country to get tough against ISIS, you really have no fucking right to do that because you don't have any concrete evidence to support that you know, that person's side of the story is wrong. As far as we know, ISIS is a threat. They killed over 100 people in France, and you should be angry about it. But a lot of people are not. And as I mentioned in the previous video, instead what a lot of people are doing, well, it was a lot better. There's a lot less glare here. What a lot of people are doing, because, you know, sometimes the glass is a little bit distracting in a video. A lot of people are doing this. They are taking their social media accounts and converting it almost into a fucking soapbox. And I'm all for that. You know, talking about real life, I feel is really important. And that's why I implemented that here onto this channel. I feel that it is mandatory that we need to talk about more real life stuff. We really do. You know, it can't always be about movies, wrestling, and video games. We have to really address the real issues because this is what's really happening. This is what could be possibly affecting our lives. What happened in Paris could happen to us. You know, what if you were a part of those attacks in Paris? Then you would care. Well, you wouldn't have a chance to care because you'd be dead. But, you know, so you're allowed to sit here and you're lucky that you didn't get caught up in an ISIS attack. So you're going to sit there and what are you going to do? You're not even going to spend 2 seconds. You know, you put up your little French flag there on Facebook on your profile picture, and 2 days later, you're like, oh, why is the media not mentioning what's going on in Syria? Why aren't they mentioning what's going on in Africa, in Kenya, in Nigeria? Oh, you know, look at the media. Oh, and, you know, everybody's racist. A bunch of white people. Watch white people die. Nothing, you care about. Oh, yeah, you know, here's the thing. A lot of these people, a lot of these humanitarians, so to speak, or there was a term that, social justice warrior. I actually never heard that term until I posted my last video about the racist reactions to the Paris attacks. I looked up a social justice warrior, and actually found that to be quite the catchy term. And, you know, I figured, why not talk about these social justice warriors a little bit more, and what's going on with them. So, social justice warriors, what the fuck is going on with these people? Well, they're very high and mighty. They're people that scour the internet for news stories, whether they be true or not, post them up, and criticize other people, especially when they're of different races, and accuse them of not caring because they're of a different race. Oh, this is so productive of your time, good sir and madam. Very productive use of your time. So you, in the same breath, are accusing people of being racist in order to continue your ongoing crusade to fight racism. And the thing is, I'm seeing a lot of really, really fucking hateful things being said about white people and the white race and all that. And I know, don't get me wrong, I knew it was white people that enslaved, you know, black people. And I know that, you know, white people have caused a lot of tragedies throughout the world. But so have Muslims. So have a lot of other religions and races. Hell, you want to talk about Kenya. You want to talk about Nigeria. You have a government that is genocidal, that kills its own people. And hey, guess what? Bet you didn't know this, and this is reported on in the media. Do you know that our government gives to all these African countries? They give millions of dollars, and all it goes to is to the government, and they use it to buy weapons. And they put these weapons in the hands of kids, and sometimes even little children kill fucking adults. They kill their own people. And we saw this a couple of years back. You see celebrities getting involved in this shit all the time. But the thing is, a couple of hundred deaths in Kenya or Nigeria or any of these fucking places for that matter, you know, they are everyday occurrences. It's like reporting on that every day would be like saying, oh, the sun is hot. Well, I know the sun is hot. Quite obviously it is. So you could see, it might be a little bit monotonous. They'd be reporting deaths every day because that happens. They're going to wipe out their own race over there pretty soon. Kenya, Nigeria, they're all going to be fucking empty. Yes, they're horrible atrocities, but what are we going to do about them? What can we do? You want us to send more money over there? Were we supposed to send military over there? I remember them talking about the Sudan and how we should send military troops over there. The same actors in Hollywood that were saying that the fucking U.S. Army, the military, were fucking menaces because they were going over into the Middle East and killing innocent people. And that's all they were just fucking killers and murderers. Totally disrespecting our military personnel. They wanted that same military to get boots on the ground in fucking the Sudan, to save the people over there and to save the genocide from occurring over there. That's what people wanted. This glare is getting fucking annoying. But, you know, so you see the criticism. You can't have it both ways. You want to hate on the military, you hate on the military. You want the military to go help another country. See, it just doesn't work like that. You can't ask the same people that you hated on and called them cold-blooded killers to go over to another country and say to help out another country. It's really fucking hypocritical and amazing. So, you know, you criticize the army, the same fucking people who criticize the military. I don't really know. What do you want us to do about Kenya and Nigeria and Syria? You know, you complain about ISIS, the bombing, you know, the prospect of Donald Trump bombing ISIS. You say how this is cold-blooded and disgusting and that innocent people would die in the bombings and shit like that. And oh, I keep seeing this. Not all Muslims are evil. We know that. You don't have to fucking say that. We know that. We know that not all Muslims are part of ISIS. We understand that. We totally get that. we get what you're saying. It's not really like we're not understanding, but people feel the need to be repetitious and monotonous and repeat themselves over and over that not all Muslims are bad. We understand that not all Muslims are bad. We get that. We seriously do. Thank you for constantly being there to remind us. But the fact of the matter is a lot of them are. Because there's thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, however many people there were in Al-Qaeda and fucking ISIS and all these other fucking terrorist groups and groups that probably don't even have cute little official names and shit like that. Islam is creating terrorists. And they're perverting religions and shit like that. And I took a look at the Quran. I've looked at the Old Testament, the New Testament, and I've looked at the Quran. And the Quran reminds me a lot of the Old Testament. It's a violent book. It really is. And I mentioned that in the previous video. And I know that pisses a lot of people off, but yeah, women who are not faithful, the fact that you should harm them in any way, I'm sorry. I can't support a book that, incites any type of violence whatsoever. Because religion is supposed to be a happy thing. It's supposed to be a thing that gives a lot of joy to people's lives. So when I see a religion, starts doing things that's not going to make people happy. Oh yeah, I don't think harming, your unfaithful wife is going to be a really happy thing. And I don't really, I hope that it doesn't bring you any satisfaction if you do want to carry out, those things, those acts, those violent acts, because it says it in your religious book. But it really shouldn't. It shouldn't bring you any joy. It shouldn't bring you any happiness. It shouldn't bring you anything positive at all. No positive feelings. No, nothing like that at all. So, not all Muslims are evil. And as I said, we get that. We understand that. So, we're not going to go after ISIS because this is the thing. We have to do something about this or it's going to continuously happen. And yeah, the best way of dealing about it is bombing. So, the thing is, though, there is Muslims speaking out. I see it's thousands. I don't know where people are getting these numbers. Where the fuck are they getting these numbers from? Are they really going into the heart of these ISIS-infected countries and regions in the Middle East? And are they, like, asking people? I fucking doubt that. But I'm seeing hundreds of thousands of Muslims, these stories online about how they're speaking out against ISIS. Really, I don't really know. I mean, like, think about this realistically. Stop believing everything you read on fucking social media, you goddamn fucking dumbass. Just because they tell you hundreds of thousands of Muslims are speaking out against something. Now, I have nothing against, you being a Muslim. It's not your fault. I think it's a violent religion. And so is the Old Testament, yes, which is also AKA the Torah. It's also another fucking violent book. So there you go. Remember the Crusades? All that fucking shit? Yeah, violent acts all contributed to religion. So, I'm pretty down on religion because of this shit. And yeah, we've been hearing this ever since 9/11. The word extremist. Well, okay, I understand, like, that some people are going to, probably read the Quran, but they're not going to commit these acts because they'll be like, whoa, this is fucking nuts. But, there is quite a few people who take it to heart. And they do what the book tells them to do. Like an instruction manual. So, there are those. So, I don't really get why we have to have that reminder. We know that not every single Muslim is going to go out and attack somebody. As I said, we know that. We've known that. And we've known it for quite some time. But I'm seeing completely ridiculous things on the internet like, oh, that everyone's just a fucking stereotyping, racist, prejudicial moron. This is a Hindu. This is a Sikh. This is a fucking middle finger. How about that? So everybody's so high and mighty. They think they know it all. They think they know everybody's reactions. Oh, you're a racist. Oh, really? You know me personally? You know that for a fact? I mean, people have just gone off the fucking deep end. I just have to say that right now. They're downright fucking crazy. They're downright fucking insane. You know, you think you know everything. You think you know all the fucking answers when the fucking fact of the matter is you don't know fucking shit. Meanwhile, while you're getting all bent out of shape and you're saying this is racist because we're not mentioning this in the media and that, there's over 100 people dead! And you disrespectful little fucking idiot, going on the internet and saying, let's talk about this, oh, yeah, so, okay, so you really care so much about Kenya. Okay, so, you know what? Drop everything. Drop everything right at this minute. You care so much. Drop everything in your life and go over there. And go do something meaningful. Your fucking words, your fucking courageous words, your fucking hateful words that are so pro-Kenya and so pro-Syria. Go over there and help with the relief efforts, if that even exists over there. You know, do something to help out. Instead of sitting there with your fucking phone in your hand like a fucking jerk-off and fucking giving people shit on the fucking internet because they don't want to fucking mention Kenya in their fucking news feed. You know, you can't force people to post about something. And the thing is, even if I did post and I did cause awareness, I'm like, oh, wow, that's horrible. And I keep on scrolling. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with that information? I fucking work. I have a fucking life. I've got commitments. I mean, I'm going to go over to Kenya. I'm not going to even be able to fucking eat because people are fucking starving over there. So what the fuck am I going to do? I can't afford to buy them food and feed all those fucking mouths over there. So what am I going to do? What are you doing? You're disgusting. All right, so donate some shit to them. Go fucking donate some money so it could go to their corrupt government so they have more money, equaling more power, and able to fucking destroy their fucking people even more, creating even more genocide and turning it into an even more massive scale fucking genocide. So there you go. I mean, I don't get it. So you want to hate, on the white people who don't want to mention it. Oh, you only care when it happens in France because it's white people. Well, here's the thing about France. They're not genocidal and they're not fucking maniacs. All right? So when people die in France, it's a surprise. Because why? Because they're not fucking nuts over there. They're normal people just like us. And it's a surprise because it's something that doesn't happen often. So what does that tell you? When you don't really see a lot of people dying in France all the time, as opposed to a lot of people dying in Syria. Or a lot of people dying in Kenya. Or a lot of people dying in Nigeria. What does that tell you? It tells you that there's a big fucking problem with those countries. And with France, it's a big fucking problem with ISIS. They're getting attacked by ISIS. And then you're being outraged at the wrong people. White people! Oh, yeah, okay, so yeah. Go hate on white people on Facebook. That's gonna bring the hundreds of lives back in France, you goddamn fucking selfish motherfucker. You want some hatred? Here's some fucking hatred. I'm hating on the people that are hating on all the others that don't fucking deserve it. Because you want to feel all high and mighty. You want to get some likes on fucking social media. You want to get retweeted. You want to get reposted on Instagram. You want all that fucking glory, you fucking egotistical fucking pig. Yeah, there you go again. And there was another post that I saw. You know, you don't want us to stereotype. This person made a great fucking post. You don't want to stereotype Muslims. Stop stereotyping police officers as racist. Yeah, there was a great meme. Don't stereotype Muslims You know, the same people that do the stereotyping of the cops all being murderers and shit. You know, these are the same people that say that, you know, don't stereotype Muslims as being evil, terrorists and shit. The thing is, you can't have it both ways. You know, when you're in fucking trouble, you know, and you need help, you call the cops, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you do, don't you? Okay. So, is that the first thing that's on your mind? Oh, I'm going to call these evil racist cops. No, it's not. They're your knights in shining armor when you need them. But when you don't need them, you're following along with your friends. See, that's the thing here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you fucking name it, any form of fucking social media. You just want to go on with popular belief. You know, you want to get those likes. You want to, you know, thing is, you're so concerned about what your peers think, what your fucking friends, what your fucking amigos think of you. You know, oh, if you go against the grain, if you believe, you know, that some of the stuff that Donald Trump is saying is true and, you know, we should talk about it. Not to support Donald Trump. You know, some of the stuff is, you know, very disagreeable. You know, certain things, you know, I don't like what he's saying. You know, you can make those arguments, but, you know, you're going, you're looking at the world very black and white, you know. The world is very gray. There's pretty much the whole fucking world's a bunch of gray areas here. Nothing's fucking set in stone. But that's the way how you're looking at, very black and white. Oh, you know, someone made a post about the police being evil. Oh, I'm going to go along with that. Fuck the police because, you know, the police are bad. That's what all my friends on Facebook are saying. But if you're wise enough and you could disconnect yourself from popular belief and you could go against all that and you could say, hey, you know what? Not all cops are bad. Some are actually quite helpful. And some of them, you know, are really heroes to their communities. But the cops, firefighters, and other personnel, you know, forms of security here in New York did on 9/11 was downright heroic. And there's been a lot of heroic acts by the NYPD and the FDNY and all these other organizations here in New York. Now, have they done some racist, violent shit that's totally uncalled for and totally broke the code of the NYPD? Absolutely. But that's not all of them. You know, and the fact of the matter is this, you know, I've been down to One Police Plaza, for job interviews. You know, it didn't work out with them. It wasn't for me. But the thing is this, there's a lot of black cops and there's a lot of Hispanic cops. There's a lot of cops of different nationalities. So to say that is just pretty fucking stupid. They're not a racist organization by any means. In fact, one of my good friends is Muslim. And he just became a fucking NYPD officer, patrolman, just a few months ago. So what does that fucking say about the NYPD? They're not racist. So stop being a dumb fucking little follower, a following fucktard, and going along with everybody else says because that's popular belief and you don't want to look like the outcast, you know, in your little society of fucking friends. You know, so, you know, you want to just stereotype that, but then you also want to go on the internet and you want to post about, oh, not, you know, stop stereotyping Muslims. And I also saw another great meme too. It said, you know, not all Germans were also evil and Nazis. But look what happened during Nazi Germany. It didn't really fucking matter, did it? What are you going to say about that, huh? Where's your counter arguments for that? Yeah, there you go. Nazi Germany. Not all Germans are evil, right? Yeah. Look what happened with that. Look what happened with that.